Hawkesbury Racing. Show us your tips. The Beaver is back to get stuck into these almighty fields from Hawkesbury and Mornington. What a treat we've served up for you for your return, Beaver. How was the holiday?
Yeah, fantastic, mate. Yeah, what a treat to come back to these fields, mate. Wish I was getting back on the boat after having a look at this, but so be it. Beaver will do his best to find some winners. I hope the Dagster didn't let the punters down last week and filled the void quite well.
Yeah, been a productive couple of weeks, and Johnny filled in last week for you quite ably as well, so that was nice. But yeah, we come back to, how was the trip? Good? Thumbs up?
Yeah, excellent, mate. Really good. Fighting fit, refreshed, and yes, unfortunately back to the real world.
Yeah. Now, well, we'll get stuck into Hawkesbury tomorrow. We're on it's currently rated a soft 5, but the weather's good. They didn't receive much of the rain. We got sort of a bit further west yesterday, so should be good tomorrow. I'm predicting rail is true. Always terrified of being perhaps up the inside there at Hawkesbury, but we are getting a better quality of field than better quality of horse, I should say, than we usually get there during the week. See how we go. See how we go. I'll preface it by saying generally I don't bet here, as people who follow the show know, but we'll do our best tomorrow. What do you make of all this? Some nice enough fields later in the day, I guess.
Yeah, some nice enough fields floating around, some nice enough horses, a few up-and-comers. So, yeah, not a bad card for Hawkesbury.
Kick off with the 2-year-olds over the 1,400 metres, and I'll let you kick off here.
Yeah, look, I've settled on the unbeaten favourite in this, Zardozi from the Cumming stable. Both wins have been good wins, one here at Hawkesbury, and seem to improve in that second race start. I think there's a bit more improvement here. The draw's good, and everything points to it running really strongly in the first year.
Absolutely. 1,400 metres looks right up its alley as well. Got going late there over the distance last time out. Beat most of these. I don't have much more to add. Icebreaker out to 1,400 probably does improve and gets soft enough lead, but I don't really see it turning her at the tables on the result from last time out. We've got an 1,100 metre highway up next, and we've lost a couple this morning. Not a huge highway man here, but I've ended up, from the time I spent on it, finding the two at the top of the weights here, Penthouse and Dollar Magic. Penthouse has a bit of work to do, but can probably find the lead here off the back of some nice trials and bring some decent enough highway form to this. And Dollar Magic ran well in a highway 2-back, went away and won at Scone, comes back here and gets a nice enough run, hopefully in the running line from gate 13. I want to obviously see him making some ground. But I think those two look the classier two in the field. What are you thinking here?
Yeah, I went for Penthouse as well. I thought fresh here. The wide gate was a little bit of a concern, but probably end up coming in a couple, so may not be too wide. I think hopefully it can show some speed and gets the 3 kilo claim here, so it gets in at the 58. I thought its form last preparation was pretty good, and I think the third against a horse like Direct, when it resumed at Ballarat, was pretty good. Has got form with the sting out of the ground, so I thought I'd place it on top in a pretty open affair.
The Midway is race 3 for the girls, benchmark 72 as usual. Nice big field. Do you like anything?
Yeah, look, I thought it was a bit of a tricky race. I thought the favourite was always looks the hardest to beat, given its recent form. But I did have a bit of a liking for Miss Kojiki. Mm-hmm. I thought last run was pretty good. The third at Warwick Farm, I thought it ran on okay. Probably maybe fitness just gave out a little bit last start when it was moving into it. Had the 59 kilos then, sits around 60 here, so can handle the weight. Maybe just off the pace from the 3 gate, might get the sitting shot at him and run a good race at double figure odds.
Yeah, I sort of agree. Obviously, the form through Shadows of Love looks okay with Valentia coming to town, who beat it on protest last time out. But there's a few here I'm giving a chance at a bit of a price. Eyewitness, Inside Gate, Brad Rawilla, Composi up, and if there is any bias, gives you a sight. But the other two with the Metro form, you've mentioned Miss Kojiki. I agree, runs well here. And Moonlight Grace resumes off a Metropolitan win at Warwick Farm. Has trialled well, comes here and gets Dylan Gibbons and is, about $10. So it looks good to me as well. Even a horse like Rita May, who can't draw a gate, but he's running quite honestly in some decent metro stuff as well. They're all chances. I think the favourite's too short, but obviously respecting the fact that form has since stacked up. The fourth is a benchmark 78 over the 1,800 metres, where I'm with the import here, Unspoken, who just debuted in that race, which had the tearaway leader. Don't know if it really suited it. Got through the line pretty well late. From gate 6, should find a decent enough spot. I think improves here. Scared of Osbred Flirt, who both runs in have been pretty good this time, and comes home and should run well. And if High Roller is here, around a $26, I think gives you a good side here if it is, as I've said, up the inside. I saw it was nommed down south as well. But there are the three main chances here. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I settled on 2, but I've gone for Osbred Flirt. I've liked both runs in this preparation, as you suggested. It's first up in the Group 3, finished off that nicely, was back in the field behind Zapateo, who'd win this with its legs tied together. So I thought that was pretty good, and then followed that up with a really nice win. Finished off nicely last start, so it was just off the pace at Warwick Farm in the top couple, and then went away from them near the end. So I thought it could run really well. Gate 12 hopefully gets in and on the pace, or just behind the pace. And I thought pretty amazing was a good run last start as well. It let down really nicely and third up as well. So I've gone for the 2 horses there that are third up. I think both of them can run really well, and I'd be backing one and saving on the other.
Excellent. Yeah, I think the fact I seem to have tipped Nash for the rest of the card turned me a bit off. Pretty amazing. But anyway, we'll get to race 5, the 1,100 metre benchmark 78. And I'm just starting to think there's not a lot of guts to Fire's form, so I went elsewhere, and I've found the fresh Godolphin horse, as I tend to do. Red Card, who did some really good stuff last prep, was quite pacey, should find a nice spot here, and the trials have been pretty good. Won, I think, 3 in a row, and then got pulled up with EIPH before it went for a spell. All sets up really nice, and I think you're still getting about $7 an each-way price. And away from that, I'm pretty keen it runs well, actually. And Plimstock, I was giving a chance to. The other blue colours, nice trials, albeit on Syntho. Lightly raced, gets Zach Lloyd, and that combination, Godolphin and Zach Lloyd are just winning for fun at the moment. Again, around $12, I think, gives you a sight on a day that Godolphin traditionally targets pretty well out in the Saturday Hawkesbury. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I was a bit the same as you. Not sure of the guts to Fire's form, and for that reason I've still got a question mark there, and resuming here with 59, willing to take it on a little bit. And I set it on Red Card as well. I thought its form last preparation was good enough for a race like this. Sketch J. Mac Cummings, and I thought around the odds was a nice little bet as well. And I thought the Main Danger was Nasturtium. I tipped it last start before it was scratched. I think it can run well fresh, and had that as my Main Danger.
The Hawkesbury Gold Rush, 1,100 metres listed race is up next. Andermatt is short, does get the inside gate. Are you looking that way, or are you going somewhere else?
No, I'm going for Malkovich. Like the trials of Malkovich, I think this sets up nicely. It's the gate 12 means it's got to use up a bit of pace, but I really like the way it won its trial, beating Space Boy pretty easily, and before that won its trial nicely. Look, this distance suits the 1100s perfect, and I think it can run a really bold race here. I think, again, around the $5, $6 mark's a good price, and I've got it on top.
I am sticking with the blue colours, but I'm going to go with the Thelric. I think 1,200 metre sees it out, which it did last time. Back to 1,100 metre suits. Nash jumps on. Hopefully it's just a nice camp on the back of Malkovich and can pop out and have last shot at it. I'm scared covered off Malkovich quite well. And I think Zethus, the other blue colours, has trialled up quite well for this. Resumes here, is $16, worth throwing into your early quaddies, as is Night of Romance and Foxfighter, both sneaky, longer price shots there. But the Theoric back to 1,100 metres, I think it's a nice play for me. A little bit of cut out of the ground, also a tick. 1,400 metre Hawkesbury Guineas, a Group 3 is up next. Where do we even start with this race, Beaver?
Oh, look, I'm fairly keen on the fortune teller. I think it's going to be super hard to beat. I think there was a lot to like about last run. I liked the fact that it was found in the market. They put a bit of money on it and it didn't let down. It was given the perfect run, and I think hopefully it gets sort of similar here. Won the Group 3, and then prior to that wasn't disgraced in the Group 1 down at Flemington, and prior to that a Group 2 at Sandown. It's got the best group form coming into this race against some other horses that have been running in benchmark or class ones like Hawaii 5-0, got a bit of ability. Rosita, it was probably a horse that was missed last start in the listed race. It came out of Group 1 and 2 form and sort of didn't have form, and back in grade 1. So I'm sort of taking that similar line there, that this horse has the right form in group company, and therefore that'll transition well into this. So for me, the fortune teller on top around the $5 mark, I think is a nice bet.
Excellent. I ended up deciding I'm just going to take all the heavy track form and turf it, which left me with Hawaii 5-0 on top. Perhaps on face value a little disappointed. Big cover ground at Kenzo. Both runs have had merit. Nash sticks. It's now second start for the Waterhouse team, so they'll have got a bit more work into it. And you go back now and the form looks all right. Major Bill since won the Derby, and I think Watch the Clock's talented. Comes here for a bit of a freshen up, and I think this would have been a target where I think this is a bit of an afterthought for some of the others here. So sticking with it, scared of the fortune teller, got a feeling maybe a wet tracker, and we might get better than that, which is why I went away from it. But absolutely respect that, and like you, sort of have penned the rest. Cote nommed for Queensland, I saw, so maybe hard to beat if ends up there too, but we'll get to that later. The Hawkesbury Crown, 1,300 metres for the girls, a Group 3 again. And if we get a dry surface, I'm very keen on the fortunes of Princess Grace. I thought that was a pretty good Australian debut. Just got too far back. Comes here, gets Nash, gets an inside gate, and meets a bunch of mares that aren't really doing much at the moment. And if you look back through its form from overseas, it's all on firm tracks. So the drier the better for it. I think it's very, very hard to beat here. I thought the main danger was Meg at 40s. Non-event going right back first up, but unbeaten distance, unbeaten second up. Can run better than the odds suggest. And beyond that, I didn't have a great deal that I wanted to talk about. So, yeah, pretty keen that it Princess Grace, one of the better bets on the card. What are you thinking?
Thinking the same as you, mate. Again, same basis as my last race. Again, it's got the group form. It was a really nice first up run here in Australia in that Group 2, won by Zapateo, which we talked about its form lines previously. Powered to the line quite nicely there. Does go up a little bit in weight, but I think the one gate really suits here. Can probably, as you said, sit a bit closer. And again, I thought the main danger was Tycoon Evie. Only downside is it's drawn a little bit wide, but similarly, all its good runs recently have been in Group 2 and Group 3 companies, so no reason it can't run well in this as well. But yeah, I like Princess Grace as well, and if the track does firm up, which it should, look out.
The other feature on the card is Hawkesbury Gold Cup, the mile Group 3. Floating Artist pops up here off second up off a big spell. You're looking that way, or you're going elsewhere?
Oh, there was a lot to like about its last run, wasn't there?
Yeah.
It was a real eye catcher. It was. I saw the run. I'm like, wonder what that was, and I made sure I took a note of it after the race and was waiting to see where it popped up, and here it is. And look, if it's got any improvement from that run, which you would expect it would, second up here, Mar Eustace wouldn't have brought it here to catch spiders. So I'm tipping it's going to run really well. I like the wide draw. I think you can get into the running line, and as long as you can make ground here at Hawkesbury, the rest of this field, I went looking for something, and I just thought this is an awful lot.
Yeah.
There's nothing here. Maybe even a horse like Hosier was very disappointing last start. It'd have to. It's capable of a good run, but it'd have to improve a lot from that. But look, Floating Artist for me, I'm super keen on it.
Yeah, my only fear is second up off the long spell, as I said. But it's a top horse. This is a Group 1 horse. This is a proper horse. Has done some good stuff to date. Assuming everything's fair off the track, it's very, very hard to beat. Outside of that, the couple I'll make the case for. Jojo is a man. Maybe I went off a run early, second up, third up in quick backup. Both ticks for it. Will be a long way back, though, from that gate. I am forgiving Hosier first up. Tried to lead all the way to mile at a decent clip. I'm saying better second up, and I'm sort of treating Muswellbrook as its own world up there. So does run well. Away from that, yeah, I'll cover a couple of others when I get to the quaddie. But yeah, good horse, should be very hard to beat, as you've said. We finished the day with a benchmark 88, 1,500 metres, and I'm going to stick with Wicklow here, who was pretty good first up there. They had a lot to do in that race where the leader was often gone, got into it late, and runs into the right race here, gets Nash, and there's not much going on. I think it's going to be very hard to beat, and have to respect Spangler, who smashed them in the last start at Randwick, comes here off that, gets J-Mac. I think they're the two key chances in a race of not much else going on here. Again, Spangler nommed up north, I noticed, so we'll keep an eye on that one. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I've gone for Spangler. Last two runs have been outstanding. I thought it was a really good run when it was second behind Lock Eagle, 2 starts back, and then was at Newcastle, but it was just given the perfect ride last start at Randwick. It was turned the tables there and sort of did so quite comfortably. It's in a best form of its life, and I think, again, drawing the gate 11, as long as it gets some cover there, it's going better than a lot of these, and got it on top. And I think you can't leave out Lock Eagle.
Yeah,
Lock Eagle beat it 2 starts back. They reversed in the market last start, and Lock Eagle was favourite. Spangler wasn't. I don't think it should be $13. I know it got beat by 4 lengths last start, but it got right back. It was at the tail, and it finished off nicely. It was one of the good runs in that race, albeit 4 or 5 lengths. Gate 4 is going to get a better run here, and if the runs reverse, I think the result could reverse here. So certainly, I think they run the Quinella again.
Okay, beautiful. The Hawkesbury quaddie. Let's go in first leg. I'm going to go 1, the Fortune Teller. 2, Cote, if it's here. 6, Atmosphere. 7, Hawaii. 5-0. Second leg, 1, Princess Grace. 9, Meg. 15, Short Shorts. Third leg, 3, Floating Artist. 3 Floating Artist. 5, Birdebeck, only just because I don't know why, but I just can see it flashing down the outside at a big price. It's the knockout here. 9, Jojo Was a Man. 10, Lord Ardmore. 12, Hosier. 19, Bold Mac. And we'll come home with 2 Acquitted, 3 Spangler, 4 Lock Eagle, and 7 Lock Eagle, and 5 Wicklow. For ProGroupRacing.com.au, I'm going to make my best race 8, number 1, Princess Grace, and my value race 10, number 5, Wicklow. What are you thinking?
Yeah, my best bet race 9, number 3, Floating Artist, and my value bet race 3, number 2, Miss Kojiki.
Excellent. Let's head down to Mornington for the support program down there. And it is currently a soft 5. I believe the weather's good, so we should get a good track again. Mornington, we probably want to be on pace and generally an advantage to be one of the locals here on this day. But we kick off with the Group 2, with the sires, I should say, for the 2-year-olds. Only 6 starters. I went all the way around the world on this race, and I don't have an answer. So do you?
I'm not sure I got the answer, but if I'm having a bet, I'm backing the 4, Long Lost Friend, from the Brisbane stable. Thought its debut win was pretty good. Won by a couple of lengths at Bendigo. Some natural improvement here. It can run well in, as you said, an open race. Second
is the benchmark 70, which is a bit of the story of the day. Over the 1,600 metres, I'm going to cover a couple in this race. Thought-provoking. 3 trials have all been pretty good. Comes here, gets Celine Gaudry, and a nice flowing run, and is around the $7 mark. From Warm Smile, now 4th up, has had a few chances, but was in a strong enough strong enough race last time out at Sandown. They're the main 2. Obviously, get a little bit of Defiant Diva, but does need a breakthrough. So just some fresh blood here. What are you thinking?
Yeah, look, I'm going to stick with Defiant Beaver. I'm going to say it's going to get rewarded for its ultra consistency of late. I've thought, could have almost won last start, only got beat by the Bob on the Line by a pretty decent horse. And prior to that, had run really well in other races. I think it gets its best chance to win here. And so I've got it on top, but as you said, Thought Provoking has trialled well. It's the fresh horse here, and I think he can run well, so I'd be saving on it. But that's the way I'm going.
1,000-metre benchmark 70s up next. Who do you like here?
Good little race, this.
Yeah.
I was trying to work this out. I'm going to stick with Squad. I've liked it both runs this time in, and it's won well, so I'm not going to jump off now. Drawn the 10, so it will have to come across and take up the run there. So it can sit outside the lead, but hopefully it gets across and leads. And if it does, I think it can run an almighty race with Oliver aboard. Main Danger for Suto. I thought its third up and last start win there was enough to like about it over the 1,000. It's speedy enough, runs good time, and then prior to that ran fifth behind what looks to be a pretty impressive sprinter at the moment in What You Need. So that's a good form line for this. So that's the way I'm going to play.
I'm with Squad too. Has come back in great order, has had its own way in front and won convincingly both times in. Ollie's not going to mess around here. He'll go straight to the front again. And we'll give you a great side around the $6, $5.50, $6 mark there. I am giving the Main Danger as Senegalia, who drops back in grade where it wasn't disgraced, just finished on the heels of Veriscova. Before that, copped a bump at the Valley and should have been the finish there. And is around $11. So they're the two main ones for me. Scared of Ranveer, but may well be best horse, or was, but it's now first up after nearly 2 years, and it hasn't really been a recipe for us finding those sort of horses, has it, Beaver? So
it hasn't.
We'll watch and learn on it.
Hence my wide berth.
Yeah. Benchmark 78, 2,000 metres is up next. And I think this is a great betting opportunity here. I'm sticking with Golden Crusader. Been very impressive both times. And Celine Gowdry is just flying at the moment. She'll take this straight to the front from gate one. There's not a lot of pressure on her here, and she'll just jiggy-jog around and do exactly what she did at Sandown last time. And that's probably win convincingly. And you're getting an each-way price. I don't see how it misses a place. So $6, it looks good to me. Scared of Kavina, and that form pops up a bit later in the card as well, but probably should have won on debut or at least gotten close. Does have to come from back in the field and may have a job to do here. Blake Shin will get on his bike early, I'm sure. I think they're the only two chances, really. Not a lot else here for me.
Disappointed you said that, because I'm going for the 3, Claude Moore.
Okay. 2.5
run really well here. I thought it won first up quite nicely, and then last start was given no peace on speed by Big Brew and carried 63 kilos and had every right to capitulate, and it just kept finding and only just went down. It was a pretty tough run. I'm hoping here, I think you're right, Golden Crusade will lead. I'm hoping it can tuck in behind and it's not caught outside.
Yeah.
But I think the 2000's okay, and I think it's got the fitness now to run really well. And I just like the way it stuck on last start. So I'm tipping it to run well. As you said, Golden Crusaders, a lot to like about it, this preparation. So I thought they were the main two chances, but that's the way I'm going to lean here.
Excellent. The 1,200 metre benchmark 78 is up next. What do you like?
Interesting, since I did the form last night to just looking now, Alredonte I did like, and I've seen it's sort of been backed in from third favourite to favourite. Just sort of about the 420, 450 mark here, and that was my tip. Goes well first up, but 3 out of 3 on the soft, 1 out of 1 on the heavy, won 3 out of 4 this jockey on it. Really good form lines for this race. I think it can run well fresh and first up from gate 3, so I've got it on top.
Me too. I've got it on top. I think trials have been good for this, including followed Giga Kick in one of them and trialled quite well, and then grabbed TikTok Lady late in the second. My concern is I've found back markers. It will be back, as will Miss Middle Park, but she's flying. She's the Main Danger for me. I've lost a couple of others I'm going to mention via scratching. So, yeah, they're the two here. Just wanted to see the track playing fair by this stage of the day. The mile Mornington Guineas is up next, which is 3-year-old. It's got no black type attached to it, in fact. But I am looking for a couple here. I've ended up settling on Elkington Road coming back. It comes back from the Guineas and chased Waltz on by last time. I think back to the mile here suits. And will handle the up in distance better than Waltz on By. I think they're the main chances. I think there's a little bit of a tail on this. I'm targeting those two predominantly. I think a horse like King Samuel, who has plenty of upsides unbeaten, gets a pretty cosy lead up on the pace. Maybe can give you a sight up in front if you're looking for one for your exotics. But looking at the classier horses here, Beaver, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I'm going Waltz on By. I liked last start. I'm sticking with my philosophy we talked about earlier, the horses with group and listed form, and it has that. Its last 3 runs, last 4 runs, it went Group 1, Group 3, and then came out in the listed, stepped back and won. Was given a great run there, and I'm hoping it gets the same run here. Sits leaders back on the fence through gate 1, and Nolan at the right time pops it out, and it waltzes on by. So that's my selection, and I'm pretty keen.
Beauty. We've got the Hareeba Stakes, which does have black type attached, 1,200 metre listed race here. And to your point just then, I'm going to stick with the one coming out of the Group 1 race. Jigsaw just absolutely copped a serving up on the pace there, coming back from in the William Reid. Drops back here, gets its nice cosy lead back, and I think will return to winning form and do so comfortably. I think it's easy to find here. The main dangers if we're running on is Sessions Road and maybe not an option back in distance, but I was just avoiding She's or Class. Not that it matters because Jigsaw just win. So I'll stop rambling and let you confirm my thoughts.
Yeah, I'm jigging as well with the Jigsaw. I think, it bounces back here. You're right. Steps back from the Group 1 race here where it was given no chance. This looks ideal, gets the right run here, and this is certainly a step back in class, got it on top, and I think Curran can continue to improve now it's won, and I think it's the main danger at $7. I think it for the Quinella.
Beauty. The feature is the Mornington Cup, 2,400 metres. There's a ticket attached here, so I think it's in the Caulfield Cup, isn't it? One of the cups. If they win this, they go somewhere. And we say he's a shocker coming back from some Wait for Age stuff. Is that the way you're leaning?
No, it's not. I'm going to stick with Right You Are.
Yep.
I don't think I've tipped it this prep, and now I'm jumping on, but it's got the best form coming into this race, the most consistent form, and they've kept it up and kept it fresh. I thought it might have been coming to the end of its preparation, but maybe not. So I think it's definitely going to run well, and it's going to give you sight. We'll get the 2,400, and I had the main danger as Vow and Declare. I think they're the top 2 in this race for me, the genuine stayers, and that's the way I'm going to play it. It's sort of the $8 mark for both.
I'm with you. I agree. I think, obviously, I can see why he's a shocker finishing alongside Animo, his favourite, but has to come back from Wait for Age, which doesn't necessarily stack up when you get back to handicap. And Right You Are did win 5 in a row leading up to the last start, where it did run into the Melbourne Cup winner this year in White Marlin, and wasn't disgraced either. It was very good. Can't believe you're getting $7. I think it's a great bet. I will be taking it. It gets a really cosy run up there too. So with it, and I agree, Vow and Declare coming back from the Tancred to this does set up pretty well as well. Gets a nice run for Johnny Allen, both around $8. A bit buoyant because Right You Are has beaten Vow and Declare pretty cosily a couple of times too. So I think that sets up nicely. And like you, going around the others coming out of the Australian Cup. The 9th is the benchmark 78 over the mile. How are you finishing off here?
Yeah, pretty good way to finish off here. I think you can boost your earnings with backing Maktub, number 11. 2 wins this time in have been pretty good. Let down nicely in both of those. Up to the mile last start was perfect. Gets the mile again here. Gate 2 looks to get the dream run here, and this is a very winnable race. So continue improvement since coming from overseas. It'll win again.
Yep, on top for me. Gate 2 should sit closer. Third up now, should be ready to go. Should win this. That said, I think Jupiter's is a stupid price around 20s. I think it should be much shorter than that. Hasn't got into the last couple in Sydney. Comes down here where there'll be a bit less pace and take up a position and run well. And Summerbill getting a bit of a cosier time can improve as well. But, finishing with Maktub as well. Do you want to throw out your quaddie for the day?
I will throw out my quaddy for the day. First leg, race 6, number 3, Wilson By, number 4, Dashing, number 5, Legal Thoughts, and number 9, King Samuel. Into the second leg, I'm going number 1, Jigsaw, number 4, Curran, and number 7, Turk Warrior. Moving into the third leg, I'm going number 1, Vow and Declare, number 3, Nonconformist, number 6, Right You Are, and number 9, Banner. And to finish the day, I'm going number 11, Maktub, and number 12, Naboo Star.
Beautiful. What's your best in value?
My best comes up in race 9, number 11, Maktub. I think we'll be getting those jockeys there. And race 4, number 3, Claudium Moore is my value.
Lovely. My best, race 7, number 1, Jigsaw, and my value, race 8, number 6, Right You Are. I think I've got to spend $100 today. I'm going to put 50 on Princess Grace at Hawkesbury. And let's go 50 on Right You Are in the Mornington Cup. Hopefully covers us for the day. What do you got up north?
Yeah, up north, mates. Hopefully bounce a few winners up there. Race 5, number 12, Sweet Margot May. Into race 6, number 14, Manhood. I think it'll be hard to beat to get back in the winners list. I like race 8, number 15, Santiro. And that's it for the day.
At Morphettville, by the way, we'll cover, as we get towards the Winter Carnival, we'll start covering Queensland in the next few weeks, towards we head towards those feature races into the Stradbroke and the like. But at Morphettville, race 4, number 3, Reckoning, saved from Mornington to go there. Race 8, number 3, my old mate Renosu's popping up for the Blue Invasion there. And race 9, number 1, Kalos, all will be very hard to beat in Adelaide. Good job, Beaver. Welcome back.
Thank you, mate. Glad to be back.
Excellent. I'll catch up with you tomorrow afternoon for a few bets, hopefully.
Sounds like a plan.
And we'll be back. We'll preview Anzac Day. Are you free Anzac Day morning or are you out and about? We'll catch up. Yeah, Tuesday morning we'll do the preview show for the Anzac Day races next week. Take care, guys. Good punting this week, and we'll see everyone then. Bye-bye.